2025 Honda Civic, Mazda 3, or Toyota Corolla. Which one should you buy? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. This is an interesting comparison for me because, as some of you know, I own a Mazda 3, and when I bought it 2 years ago, I was struggling to choose between these three cars. As far as affordably priced compact cars go, the Honda Civic, Mazda 3, and Toyota Corolla are three of your safest choices if you want a well-made, reliable car that offers excellent value for the money. So, did I make the right choice, or should I have gone for the Corolla or the Civic instead? Well, I'll let you know at the end of the video. Now, what's really nice about all three of these cars is that they give you a choice between a conventional four-door sedan body style, or you can go with a hatchback if you want to have more cargo space, which is something that's not offered on other compact cars like the Hyundai Elantra, the Kia K4, and the Nissan Sentra, which are only available as sedans. All three of these cars also give you a choice of different engine options. In the case of the Mazda 3, you can choose between two different gas engines, and in the case of the Corolla and Civic, you have a choice between a conventional gas engine or a more fuel-efficient hybrid engine. The standard engine in the Mazda 3 is a large displacement 2.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine that makes 191 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot bigger and more powerful than the base engines in both the Corolla and the Civic, which both have 2-liter engines, in the Corolla making 170 horsepower and in the Civic only 150 horsepower. And you can really feel it. The extra power and performance that you get is one of the major highlights of this car. Now, you can, if you want, go for an optional 2.5-liter turbo engine that makes up to 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit and makes this a very quick car. But I don't really feel that it's all that necessary because the base 2.5-liter engine is really more than adequate. I have the naturally aspirated engine in my personal car and I've been perfectly happy with it. And the simplicity of not having a turbocharger means less complexity and less potential repairs down the road. But either way, this is a very reliable car, and this drivetrain has a fantastic reputation for reliability and longevity, so it is a very safe choice. Another highlight of the Mazda 3 is that you get a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission, as opposed to a CVT or continuously variable transmission that you get in both the Civic and Corolla, which is another really nice bonus. It's a smooth, great performing transmission, and again, known to be extremely well made and reliable. And the last major advantage that you get with the Mazda 3 is that it's the only one in this group that gives you a choice between either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive with both engines, which is a feature that's extremely important to many buyers. So as a whole, it's a great performing vehicle. The only major downside to it really is that it's not the most fuel-efficient car. It gets around 25 to 32 miles per gallon, maybe up to 35 miles per gallon, or 7 to 10 liters per 100 kilometers, which is definitely at the back of this pack. If having the best fuel economy is a priority to you, then you're definitely going to want to take a look at the other two, which brings us to the Toyota Corolla. As mentioned, the standard engine in the Corolla is a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that comes connected to a CVT and produces around 170 horsepower. It's definitely not a very powerful engine, but it performs perfectly fine. It's very fuel efficient, and it has an excellent reputation for being extremely reliable and long-lasting. That being said, there's no question that the better engine option to choose from is the available hybrid, which has many significant benefits, the main benefit being fuel economy. The hybrid engine, which is a 1.8 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with 2 electric motors, a planetary gear type eCVT, and a hybrid battery, only produces around 134 horsepower, but it's able to achieve up to around 45 to 52 miles per gallon, or 4.5 to 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is incredible fuel economy. It's a great performing hybrid system as well, extremely smooth, adequate power, and has a fantastic reputation for being extremely reliable. Toyota is definitely a leader when it comes to hybrid tech, and it really shows. The only real drawback with it, like the standard engine, is that it's just not that powerful, which is an issue that Toyota will hopefully solve with the next generation Corolla by introducing the more powerful 2-liter hybrid engine from the Toyota Prius. In any case, let's move on to the Honda Civic. Now, this is perhaps the sweet spot or the Goldilocks in this comparison, giving you the best of both worlds. The performance, the power of the Mazda 3, even the turbo engine with the amazing fuel economy of the Corolla Hybrid. As mentioned, the standard engine in the Civic is a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is perfectly fine, adequate. It has good fuel economy. It's a very simple, reliable engine, but there's no question the new available hybrid engine is definitely the one that you want. The hybrid system in the Civic uses a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors, no transmission, and a hybrid battery producing 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. It also delivers around 45 to 52 miles per gallon, or up to 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So you get the same incredible fuel efficiency as the Corolla Hybrid, but it has all the power and performance of the Mazda 3 Turbo, which is a really addictive, fantastic combination. And it's just a great performing hybrid system. The engine is incredibly smooth. It has tons of power. It really is the best of both worlds, and all things considered, probably the best drivetrain setup in this group. And like Toyota, Honda's hybrid systems are extremely well made and known for being very reliable. Honda has been using this hybrid system in its vehicles for many years now, dating back to the 2014 Honda Accord. So it's very well proven and known to last a long time without having major issues. So there are some major differences between these three when it comes to their drivetrain setups, but when it comes to the way they actually feel and how they drive, they are quite similar. All three of these cars have fantastic handling. They're great performing cars. They feel very well balanced, handle extremely well, and they all have reasonably good ride quality for what they are. Now, the Mazda 3 often gets criticized for having a very basic and simple torsion beam rear suspension, which I really don't think is much of an issue because it still handles and performs just as well as the other two. It really is a great driving car, and having that really simple suspension means that there will be less maintenance when this car is much older. But even so, both the Corolla and the Civic do have a more sophisticated multi-link rear suspension, and that does help improve the ride quality just a little bit. I really don't think there's much to complain about with any one of these three cars. They all drive extremely well, but even so, if I had to pick one of these to have the best combination between good ride quality and well-sorted handling, I think it still would be the Honda Civic, which feels the best balanced, the best tuned car in this group. And there are some definite advantages to the Civic again when it comes to the interior. It's the largest, most spacious car in the group, and that gives it a more substantial feeling when compared to the other two. It has more interior space in the front and rear seats and the most cargo space. And that's true in the case of both the sedan and the hatchback, especially with the hatchback, which has an enormous cargo area comparable to that of an SUV when compared to the Corolla and Mazda 3, which feel much smaller and much more cramped by comparison. With that said, all three cars have well put together interiors with decent fit and finish, good build quality, and excellent technology and user friendliness. You get straightforward control setups in all three cars and really good user interfaces on the touchscreen infotainment systems, which do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. It's the interior of the Mazda 3, however, that impresses the most. It really has this really nice premium feel to it with excellent materials, excellent finishes, and has the nicest color choices as well. It's the only one in this group that really gives off a bit of a luxury vibe and just has a really nice look and feel to it. A sophisticated, more upscale feel that has really become something that Mazda is really well known for. It also offers a few additional features on the higher trims that you can't get on the other two cars, like a color head-up display and a surround view 360 camera system, which is really great to have. That being said, all three cars are extremely well equipped and have excellent standard features, including lots of standard active safety technology. All three cars are also rated a top safety pick by the IIHS. But again, the Mazda 3 comes out ahead here, the only one in this group that's rated a top safety pick plus. Now, as for pricing, the Toyota Corolla is the value leader in the group, priced between 24 to 30,000 US, or around 26 to 38,000 Canadian. And next up after that comes the Mazda 3, priced between 25 to 37,000 US, or around 27 to 40,000 Canadian. And the most expensive one of the group, that would be the Honda Civic, priced between 27 to 35,000 US, or around 30 to 41,000 Canadian. Again though, you're getting excellent value regardless of which car you buy. Not only are they well priced, but because they're so reliable, so well made, and have fantastic reputations, all three of these cars have phenomenal resale value. They're not going to drop a lot in price over time, which is really what determines whether a car has value or not. So this is one of those comparisons where there really isn't a bad choice in the group. You're going to get a phenomenal, well-made, value-packed car regardless of which one you go for. But which one is the best one in the group? And if I were to go back and start over again, would I buy the Mazda 3 all over again? Well, if I had to pick one car to put in third place, I really think it would be the Toyota Corolla. Now, it's a fantastic car, extremely well made, extremely reliable. You're getting excellent value for your money. There's no question about that. But it's definitely outshined by the other two cars. It has the least impressive interior. It's on the cramped side with not a whole lot of interior space. And it has the least amount of power and the weakest performance of the three. Which means that for me, it really is a toss-up between the Mazda 3 and the Honda Civic. And between those two cars, I have to say, all things considered, I think it's hard to argue that the Honda Civic Hybrid really is the most well-rounded choice. It feels like the most substantial car in this group. It's the largest one with the most interior space, the most cargo space. It has the best balance between ride and handling, and it has the best performing drivetrain of the group. As mentioned, with that hybrid engine, you really have the best of both worlds. The power of the Mazda 3 combined with the fuel economy of the Corolla Hybrid. So it really is as good as you can get. But as great as the Civic is, I don't think it would be my own personal choice. I still think the Mazda 3 has a lot more going for it, at least for me. Not only is it extremely well made, drives extremely well, it's got great performance, excellent ride and handling, it has the most premium feeling interior of this group, the only one that gives off a bit of a luxury vibe. I'm just a huge fan of the style, the way this car looks, and it just really suits my personality better than the other two. It doesn't have the best fuel economy, there's no hybrid option, and it doesn't have the interior space of the Civic, but those things are not really a priority for me. And if they're not a priority for you either, I think it's hard to argue that the Mazda 3 is really one of the best compact cars available right now. As mentioned, I've owned mine for 2 years now and I've been extremely happy with it. I love the way it drives, I love the interior. It hasn't had a single major repair issue. It's been extremely reliable, which is exactly what I was expecting, and I really don't have any significant complaints. So even though by every rational method of analysis, the Civic Hybrid does make more sense to go with, even the Corolla, if you just want to save the most amount of money, my personal choice as the win is still going to be the Mazda 3. So there you have it. Now, if you were choosing between these three cars, which one would be your number one choice? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.